All right, producers, we did it. We beat Suno. Suno watched my video and changed their terms because they knew that I was putting the press on them. This video made a big enough uproar for Suno to change their terms again. It now says paid users own all the rights. All because of me. Give me my credit. I'm playing. I know I had probably very little, if anything, to do with Suno changing their frequently asked questions help page. And honestly, I don't give a because there's still a huge problem that people just aren't catching with Suno's terms and, with Suno as a whole. So let me explain the changes and let me explain this huge problem that people, for whatever reason, just aren't realizing is there. Suno is going to change a lot over the next year in 2026 because they signed a deal with Warner Music Group. Well, actually, they settled with Warner Music Group, which amounted to them signing a partnership deal with WMG. And Udio has done the same with Universal Music Group, which is a competing major label. Now, as you can see at the time of me recording this video, Suno made these changes 2 days ago to Suno or help.suno.com, a more detailed FAQ about the ownership of their output. So just to clarify, they say, we know that ownership of your material is important and it's helpful to know where you stand before you take the next steps with your songs. If you were subscribed with a Pro or Premier plan when the song was created, you are considered the owner of the song. You also retain rights to commercial use for the song. If you're using the free version of Suno, the basic tier, we retain ownership to the songs you generate, but you're allowed to use those songs for non-commercial purposes. That's not what it said 3 days ago. I mean, I have a screenshot to show you what it said 3 days ago. I made a whole video about it. I don't know why you're not on the Discord right now. We're collaborating on beats. If you join one of the higher tiers, you get access to all of my kits, all of my drum kits for free. So for the price of, not even the price of one drum kit, you're going to get access to all the drum kits that I've released recently. You get them for free. You get access to a sample vault. You get access to the Discord. You get to collab on beats with me and everyone else that's in the Discord. Shout out to all the members. Patreon.com/DJPayne1 is how you access the Discord. I'm going to keep it brief, but you should join. I hope I see you in there. Now, shout out to all the people leaving comments saying, hey, check out Suno. They clarified their stance. Now the FAQ says we own it. Doesn't that seem suspicious how they keep changing things all the time? All right, why would they have to change their FAQ to add clarity multiple times in the same month or two, especially given that their terms of service have not changed? Also, and I swear I've said this a million times, federal law clearly states that when you generate music by typing words into a prompt, pressing generate, and getting output from a platform like Suno, there is no copyright ownership of that resulting output. That is public domain. 10 months ago in a Reddit thread within the Suno AI subreddit, you have information posted, copied and pasted directly from Suno. It says, relating to Suno, if you make music with the basic free plan, Suno owns the songs. If you make songs while subscribed to the Pro Premier plan, you own the song. In both cases, however, the material may not be eligible for copyright protection. In the US, copyright laws protect music created by a human. Music made 100% with AI would not qualify for copyright protection because a human did not write the lyrics or the music. Writing the prompt does not constitute the creation of the song. If you wrote the lyrics for the songs, you own those lyrics. But then, of course, the problem is the lyrics and the actual musical output are two different things. Those are two different copyrights. We're talking about a sound recording copyright versus an underlying composition copyright. Who owns those? We don't have clear answers. So the federal government is saying this music can't be owned. Suno is saying, actually, we own it unless you pay us. Then we will give you ownership because we have the power to give you ownership. Which is like me saying, hey, I own my house. You can come to my house and sell heroin. Heroin is federally illegal, but I'm going to let you come to my house and sell heroin because I own my property. So you can do whatever you want within the confines of the walls of the house I own. That is not how this works, but that is how Suno is kind of making it seem. I can't supersede federal law. Suno can't either. And okay, fair, it's being sued. It's still currently being sued. It has only settled with Warner Music Group. It hasn't settled with the other majors that have been involved in this ongoing lawsuit. It hasn't settled the class action lawsuit either. Congress is slow. Laws are slow. It's still the wild, wild west out here, and Suno is taking advantage of the chaos. They are monetizing the chaos. They are generating millions, billions of dollars off of this confusion. So if you're caught up in this storm of confusion, what does that say about you? With all these changes, it's so confusing that even Google AI has not caught up yet. I just searched to see, if Suno has implemented the Warner Music Group changes. They haven't. They've implemented some of them. So the current changes are them settling the lawsuit. We know that. They revised ownership language. So read this. The new language states that even with commercial use rights, users generally are not considered the owner of the AI-generated songs, as Suno is ultimately responsible for the output. See, so even Google Gemini, which is an AI platform, and you would think it would be up to date on this, especially given that Suno is their AI brethren, they're still reporting old information because Suno only changed their FAQ 2 days ago. These are the changes, some of the changes planned for 2026, new licensed AI models, artist opt-in programs, download limits, monetization focus. There's going to be an increase. We've talked about the price increase in previous videos. So there's just a lot going on in the world of Suno. And if you are still a current Suno user or a Suno lover, I don't understand how you don't feel played like a sucker. But hey, there's an maybe even bigger problem than this right now. Suno alluded to it in that Reddit post. Let's go to Miss Crystal, who is an actual real lawyer, unlike me, and who is at the forefront of this AI legal battle. She is suing the major AI platforms via a class action. Let's listen to what she has to say about this very important Suno legal catch.
They can't guarantee that your output is non-infringing, and they can't guarantee that copyright vests in your song.
And we've said that. We can go to Suno's terms of service. Right, where are they? Right here. Right here it says, Suno makes no representation or warranty that you... God, I can't... What is going on with my brain? Suno... Man, I had my mushroom coffee and everything. Suno makes no representation or warranty to you that any copyright will vest in any output. In other words, what they're saying is, hey, we just told you that we own certain things and that you own certain things, but that might not be true. You might not actually own shit. We might not actually own shit. Why? Because of what I just explained. Federal copyright. It cannot be superseded by whatever the Suno types on their website in their terms of service. That's just not how federal law works. Again, go back to the heroin analogy.
Your use of the services and any output is at your sole risk.
So yeah, look, like what happened to Haven with the song I Run, where he used Suno's voice changer. It was removed from streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music due to AI-generated vocals, leading to controversy over artist impersonation and copyright. So yes, in that case, Suno wasn't going to help him. Suno didn't give a f***. He was on his own. So maybe he recovered that money. I don't know, but it was like 50,000 plus in royalties that he lost.
Suno parties make no warranty that your use of any output will not infringe the rights of any third party.
Of course, they can't guarantee that the outputs won't infringe the rights of any third party because their entire training model infringes the rights of third parties. That's what the whole lawsuit is about. That's why they settled with WMG. That's why UDO settled with UMG. That's why they're still being sued. So to put it into perspective, here's a rapper that commented. He said, not buying beats anymore because of this. I can pump out 1 million Suno beats, not paying a producer for shit anymore. Even before AI, most producers were being lazy as fuck. No promotion post-release of a track they own half of. LOL, we don't really own half of the track. No hustle, no building with an artist. It for back. And people will say to me the same thing. They're like, well, if I lease a beat from you and you don't help promote it, then you're lazy. You don't deserve shit. You have no hustle. Like, I've out hustled. Don't even get me started. The fact that I'm still here is all the proof I need. I am living proof of that. But no, my job is to produce a record. I don't want to get into this conversation. It's just so weird that when somebody purchases a beat from me and they're paying for the beat and they get the beat that they purchased, they somehow aren't satisfied because they also didn't get music marketing, promotion, management, all this other shit that we just don't do because we don't know how to do that. We don't have the capacity to do that. We advertised a beat. If I advertise a beat and say, hey, once you get a beat from me, I'm going to promote the hell out of it. You're going to go #1, this and that. Cool. Then be mad when I don't follow through. All I say is, look, I make beats. That's the only thing I'm good at. Artists contact me and ask me for advice all the time. I'm like, look, I can't really give you advice because I don't know you, but here's some general advice. If you want to book a consultation, we can do that, whatever. This is silly and childish. And so in spite of this artist with 56 monthly listeners claiming that that producers are just greedy, in spite of the fact that he himself is saying he doesn't want to give us anything because he wants to save his money. People don't even know when they're contradicting themselves. I'm still trying to help these AI prompters understand that they are walking into a burning house when it comes to this AI generated stuff. A lot of people feel great, and it might not ever affect people, especially if they're kind of in his space where they're not really even making money off of their music, so no one's really paying attention. But look what happened to Haven when a song went viral. All of a sudden, all that money's gone because he used AI. This is something that if you use Suno, you should know about. I'm not saying I necessarily care. Again, I don't like. I'm giving the information out. This is a big deal for IP law. This is a big deal for the music business as a whole because it's based on IP law. People can make their own decisions, especially people who are super disrespectful about it. You know, you reap what you sow. But the information is out there, and hopefully enough of us in the creator space understand what's happening so that we're educated enough to navigate it and remain safe throughout the next few years as the AI bubble grows, bursts, reconstitutes, etc. So much success to you. Stay safe. Happy 2026. Thank you for watching. Peace.